These platforms weren't designed to be out in the North Sea for as long as they have been. And they weren't really designed to be removed.
After half a century at sea, the Brent oil and gas platforms are being dismantled.
All 4 platforms in the Brent field were challenging from a decommissioning perspective. But Brent Charlie is in a class of its own.
Charlie is Brent's heaviest and largest platform, but it's the platform's unique construction which will really test Shell's crack decommissioning team.
I feel like we saved the toughest for last.
George, can I have you drive forward, please?
Are you allowed to laugh?
This is the final chapter in the legacy of the iconic Brent field.
What we do matters. How we do it matters.
Wow, this has been out in the North Sea for 47 years, and now it's our challenge to work out how we dismantle it.
Brent Field is located approximately 300 miles from Aberdeen, about 150 miles north of Shetland Isles. It was found in the early 70s, and basically the development of the field was to help provide oil and gas for the British economy.
Having contributed over £20 billion in UK taxes over their working lives, the Brent platforms must be safely decommissioned, dismantled and recycled.
The most effective way to do this is by bringing the entire upper section of the platform, known as the topsides, back to shore in one piece.
In 2017, Shell removed the topsides of Brent Delta. In 2019, Brent Bravo. In 2020, Brent Alpha. And now it's the turn of Brent Charlie. Charlie stopped producing oil and gas in 2021.
Attention all personnel, for your information, Brent Charlie will shortly sign off.
And the decommissioning team have developed an ambitious plan to take the platform apart.
The risks are real. It's a huge undertaking.
But before dismantling can begin, Charlie's 38 wells must be capped on the seafloor.
On Delta, Bravo and Alpha, the onboard drill rigs were used to seal the wells. But Charlie's drill rig was at the very end of its usable life, so the decision was taken to remove the rig.
2 portable drill units are installed to seal the wells and retrieve the well piping.
This was the first time it had ever been trialled in the industry and was ultimately a major success.
So with capping safely completed, cutting Charlie's conductors can begin.
One of the unique challenges in decommissioning Brent Charlie is that it has 40 external conductors.
Essentially, the conductor contains the pipework that brings the hydrocarbons from the reservoir up to the platform.
The plan is to cut the conductors and the legs at 5 meters above the sea surface and lift the upper sections off with the topsides lift. The remaining lower sections of the conductors will be removed afterwards. But Brent Charlie's unique construction makes cutting the conductors more complicated.
On Brent Charlie, the conductors are between the legs. On Brent Bravo and Brent Delta, they were inside the legs.
Charlies are open in the environment, so the conductors are subjected to all the winter storms and everything else that we see over the life of the platform. So that gave us a completely new challenge.
The conductors themselves, they're tens of tons each, and if one of those was to fall into the sea, we could have a fracture and maybe an environmental event, which is an intolerable risk.
The solution? Cut the weakest conductors underwater and strengthen those to be cut above sea level.
The hydraulic workover team, they're here looking at removing the first conductors.
Just kind of find a sweet spot and let the blade do the work.
What we've learned on Brent Charlie is that every conductor is unique. They're all different, and they've all got to be treated differently and with care.
I think external conductor removal, decommissioning, is an area that's emerging across the industry, and Charlie's one of the players at the forefront of that.
With the conductor removal underway, next the team must turn their attention to Charlie's 4 162-metre long legs. They also need precise cutting so that the topsides can be lifted free.
Compared to Bravo and Delta, Charlie's legs are quite different. They're considerably narrower and packed full of process equipment. We had to remove 26 tonnes of steel before we could start cutting.
And because Charlie's legs are being cut from the inside, the team must climb down almost 50 feet from the platform surface, carrying specialist breathing equipment in case of an emergency.
We're in column 3. We're on cut 258 out of 263.
George, can I have you drive forward, please?
On Brent Bravo and Brent Delta, the legs were cut with a diamond wire, whereas on Brent Charlie, we're using high-pressure abrasive water jets.
The water was used, one, because it was a highly efficient cutting medium, but also because it's safer and doesn't present any ignition source to any flammable gas that could be in the vicinity.
And we're doing what's called castellation cuts, which is just as it's described, shaped like a castle. And the reason we do this is that those castle cuts, they act as a really good locking frame. So once we're cut, the platform won't move.
Having finished preparations for the topsides lift, the team must bid farewell to the platform for the final time.
One of the last things we have to do is get everyone off the platform.
For those of us that have been working and kind of living in that family environment of the offshore teams, it's very emotional because you're basically doing away with what has been their home from home.
So of my 38-year career with Shell, I've spent 17 years in the Brent field in total. All my life-changing events happened while I was a crew member in the Brent field. Getting married, my birth of my 3 kids, and the people I started with, and also the people we lost. So there's a huge amount of emotions that I personally feel. I'm terrified, yeah, about stopping working. I'm excited. I feel proud.
One of the last things that you need to do on the platform is to isolate all of the electrical systems and operate a switch called TPS, which is total platform shutdown, to make it safe before the last person leaves.
Right, Willie, this is it, mate. We get to put her to sleep. Now, I should be turning the buttons, but she's been near home for a lot longer than me. So proceed with SPB.
Okay, SPB, DPS.
DPS. And UPS. Thanks, Willie. Sad moment. We'll wait on Liam and head up for the flight. I really do feel privileged at being one of the last to leave Brent Charlie and at Brentfield.
With the last person off, the challenge now is to remove the 31,000-tonne topsides.
To lift the topsides of Brent Charlie, we need the largest construction vessel on the planet, Pioneering Spirit.
It's the only vessel that can remove a topsides in a single lift.
Brent Charlie is set to be a record-breaking lift for the Pioneering Spirit.
The lift is over 30,000 tonnes, and that's the biggest she's ever done.
And at 80 metres, Charlie is also the widest Brent platform, meaning even the giant Pioneering Spirit needed modifying.
The vessel was widened so that the bows would fit around the legs of Brent Charlie, and it's going to be a very tight fit. We're going to have to be very careful about manoeuvring around the platform and into position under the support frame.
All station there's 2 completed. We're going to initiate fast lift.
End of the great Brent era.
Unbelievable, fantastic moment.
The last Brent platform is right now nicely on our vessel on our way to Hartlepool.
As soon as you complete a major milestone, you get a huge high in terms of the success that you've just achieved, but you quickly need to reground and focus on the next milestone. Certainly in decommissioning, it's always one challenge after another.
The 31,000-tonne topsides must be transported into Abel-Seaton port, atop the Iron Lady barge. Due to its weight, Charlie can only be towed in at high tide, and the team have a very narrow 4.5-hour window to moor the platform.
The draft of the Iron Lady barge was larger, thus the tidal requirements were quite precise for bringing it into the quay.
Once the barge is next to Abel's quay, it needs to be grounded and secured so that it doesn't move during the topsides transfer to dry land.
It takes quite some effort to make everything line up. It's millimeter precision for a 31,000-ton topside, so it's a very, very delicate operation.
Slowly, using 40 push-pull hydraulic units, Charlie is rolled on shore at just 15 meters an hour.
So it is fully onshore. First time in last 5 decades, Brent Charlie is onshore.
Charlie's reached its last decommissioning stage. Over the next 18 months, this giant will be reduced to scrap, ready for recycling.
We've been at the forefront of single-piece destruct over the last 12 years, and this is our opportunity to dismantle the fourth and last Brent structure safely and successfully.
It's the end of an era. Bringing Brent home has been a phenomenal team effort.
I'm tremendously proud of what the team have done, the team of Shell, but all our contractors and all the people who've been involved in this.
It's a very surreal experience, but an absolutely amazing one. It's emotional as well.
The success of any project is its people, and I'm privileged to work with such an amazing group of talented individuals.
The North Sea, its people and its skills, is a national asset. Those people and those skills will ensure we continue to supply the energy the UK needs, and at the same time decarbonise and deliver net zero.